All right, let's settle one of the biggest debates in the Excel world. It's the classic, the legendary Vlookup versus its newer, smarter, and way more powerful successor, Xlookup. It's time for the ultimate showdown.
But first, let me ask you something. We've all been there, right? You build the perfect spreadsheet, your VLOOKUP is working flawlessly, and then someone, maybe even you, inserts one single new column, and poof, everything breaks. It is so frustrating, and it's the perfect place to start this conversation. So here's what we're going to cover. We'll start with the old guard, VLOOKUP itself. Then we'll meet its more flexible challenger. After that, it's the main event, a head-to-head showdown on key differences, how they handle errors, advanced searching, and finally, we'll deliver the final verdict. Okay, let's kick things off with the one we all know, the old guard, VLOOKUP. For years, this was the go-to. It was the trusty workhorse for finding stuff in our data, and probably the first lookup function most of us ever learned.
So how does it work? At its heart, it's pretty simple. You just tell it what you're looking for, where to look for it, and then you tell it which column number to return the answer from. Now keep that column number part in your head, that call_index_num. That little detail is the source of all its power and pretty much all of its problems.
And now let's meet the challenger, the modern, more flexible alternative, Xlookup. This thing was literally built from the ground up to fix all those headaches that VLOOKUP has been giving us for years.
Xlookup's way of doing things is it's just more logical. Instead of one giant table array, you just give it two separate things, the column you want to search in and the column you want the answer from. That's it. And that simple change, separating those two things, is what makes it so incredibly powerful.
Okay, enough with the intros. It is time for the showdown. And the best way to do this is to look at the biggest, most common problems VLOOKUP users have, and then see how Xlookup just swoops in and saves the day.
And here we go, problem number 1. This is VLOOKUP's most notorious weakness, its fatal flaw. The value you're searching for must be in the very first column of your table. It can only look to the right. It absolutely positively cannot look to its left. And this is where you see Xlookup shine immediately. With VLOOKUP, if the answer you need is to the left of the thing you're searching for, you're just out of luck. It'll give you an error. But Xlookup, it doesn't care. Since the search and return columns are separate, it can look left, right, up, down. It just works. It's a total game changer.
Now for a sneakier problem. This one is really dangerous because you might not even realize your data is wrong. By default, VLOOKUP does an approximate match. This means if you forget to add the word false at the end of the formula and it can't find an exact match, it might just give you the closest thing, which is almost always the wrong answer.
This really shows a difference in design philosophy. VLOOKUP is a little risky out of the box. You have to remember to make it safe. Xlookup, on the other hand, was built to be safe by default. It assumes you want an exact match, which, let's be honest, is what we want 99% of the time anyway. No more accidental wrong data.
Okay, next up, handling errors and changes. This is all about building formulas that don't shatter the second someone looks at your spreadsheet funny. So this brings us right back to that question I asked at the beginning. Problem number 3. VLOOKUP formulas are just brittle. They're fragile because you have to manually count columns and hard-code a number. You tell it, give me the answer from column 3. But when a coworker adds a new column, what was column 3 is now column 4. But your formula doesn't know that. It just breaks, or worse, gives you the wrong data.
VLOOKUP is static. It's stuck counting on its fingers. Xlookup, however, points directly to the return column itself. So if you add or delete columns and that return column moves, Xlookup's reference just moves with it. The formula adapts instead of breaking. It's just built to last.
All right, problem 4. We have all seen that ugly, jarring #NA error. It just makes your whole report look broken. And to get rid of it, you have to wrap your entire VLOOKUP formula inside another formula, usually IFROR. It just adds clutter and complexity. But check out how Xlookup handles this. It has error handling built right in. It's just an optional argument in the formula. If it can't find a match, you just tell it what to say instead. You can have it say, oops, nothing is found, or leave it blank, or whatever you want. No extra formulas, no mess. It is so much cleaner. So now let's get into the really cool stuff, the advanced features where Xlookup doesn't just replace Vlookup, it completely laps it. We're talking search direction and sorting. Think about it. Vlookup has a one-track mind. It starts at the top of your data, and the second it finds a match, it stops. But what if you're looking for the last match? Like the most recent sale to a client or the latest price update for a product. Vlookup can't help you there. It's stuck going in one direction.
But Xlookup gives you control. By default, sure, it searches from the top down. But there's this optional little argument called search mode. If you just set that to -1, it completely flips the script. It starts searching from the bottom of your data and works its way up, finding the very last match. For time-based data, this is an absolute lifesaver. Okay, the evidence has been presented. We've gone through the problems, we've seen the solutions. It is time to wrap this up and deliver the final verdict. So, which function actually wins this fight?
I mean, this scorecard really says it all, doesn't it? Can it look to the left? Nope, not Vlookup. Is the default setting safe? Xlookup's is. Are the formulas robust? Xlookup's are. Built-in error handling, reverse search, returning multiple columns? It's just check, check, check for Xlookup. It's not even a close fight. The advantages are just overwhelming.
But there is one thing. It's a knockout, right? Case closed. Well, almost. There is one single catch where Vlookup still has a role to play, and it's a big one: compatibility. So here's the deal, the final takeaway. If you're using a modern version of Excel, like Microsoft 365 or Excel 2021, and the people you share files with are too, then you should be using Xlookup. Full stop. It's just better. But if you need that file to work for someone using an older version of Excel, you gotta stick with old, reliable Vlookup. The real pro move? Know how to use both, so you can always pick the right tool for the job. At the end of the day, Xlookup is more powerful, it's safer, and it's way more flexible in pretty much every scenario. So now that you've seen the head-to-head comparison, the only real question left is it finally time for you to say goodbye to